Hi, everyone. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to join us today. We would like to welcome you to the 6th webinar of the MOPS Unlocked series, where we focus on marketing operational challenges we regularly encounter when working with our clients. If this is your first webinar of our MOPS Unlocked series, I'd like to give you a quick introduction to CRMT Digital. We are a marketing operations consultancy that helps B2B companies unlock value from their marketing technology investments. We support most best-of-breed B2B marketing platforms like Marketo, Eloqua, HubSpot, and Pardot, but we also understand the wider technology landscape, including CRM systems, BI tools, and many more. We love the nuts and bolts of the marketing engine, but we also know it is ultimately about people. My name is Len, and I'm Consultancy Director at CRMT Digital, and I have the pleasure of being here today with Alan Chatfield, who is Marketing Operations Consultant here at CRMT Digital. He has been with the company for over 18 years, starting when Marketo was just another startup, and he has worked on a large variety of systems over the years. And I can genuinely say he is one of the most tech-savvy operators in the field, and I'm not just saying that because he works with us. So, Alan, today we'll be talking about nurtures. We all know there's a lot of different opinions about what a nurture is supposed to do and what its role is in the marketing strategy. Some organizations roll out short-running dedicated nurtures on a monthly basis, and some organizations spend months planning and defining their nurtures before they even get to start building it all out. Perhaps it is a good idea to start with sharing what your opinion is on the matter.
A nurture isn't just a standalone activity. It has to fit within the overall buyer's journey. That means when you start planning the nurture, you start with the target persona, who the buyer is and where they are in the buyer's journey. The goal is then to normally progress leads or accounts through the funnel using automation. Most likely a sequence of touches, often email, doesn't have to be. And you do that until the buyer shows a level of interest, which indicates that they're ready for sales, ready for telemarketing, or ready for the next campaign. So when planning a nurture, the starting point has to be where the buyer is, who the buyer is, where they are in the funnel right now, and where you want to get to at the end of the campaign. In effect, what level of interest or engagement is needed to make the next step. The content and channels you include in the nurture then flow from these top 3 points, same as any other campaign. As a result, the way we approach nurture changes based upon where the content is in the funnel. At awareness stage, look to create a slow drip of awareness, need, or pain point content to your entire database. This doesn't have to be automated. Monthly newsletters are a great way of running an awareness nurture, as is any other BAU campaign activity. You don't need to send more than once a month because this is a cold audience. You just need regular contact with the aim of identifying who is in the market for your solution right now. Because 95% of your audience won't be in market at any given time. An awareness stage is all about finding prospects in your marketing database with intent to buy, so that if someone shows interest, you move that contact onto the interest stage, or potentially even consideration stage, depending on where the contact is, the type of interest shown. Interest stage is your classic middle of funnel nurture. It's a short 4-touch campaign based around a specific topic or buyer need. You only add people to the interest nurture when they have shown sufficient interest in that topic to follow up further. The key point is it's not something you add all contacts to. It's only contacts you're looking to move from a needs awareness conversation to a product or solution one. And when someone is ready for that detailed product conversation, that's when you move them on to the consideration nurture, which is your bottom of funnel product nurture. So you're showing adding contacts or accounts that have shown detailed interest in your product but aren't quite ready to be MQLs. The aim here is purely lead conversion, so MQL generation. You may not necessarily need a conversion nurture. Depends on where and when you pass across MQLs. Many of our customers don't, because lead creation happens at the end of the interest stage. There is often an overlap between a marketing consideration nurture and a sales email sequence sent through Outreach or Sales Loft. Both have a similar goal: to create leads, engage with sales, and you're often sending similar content. So if you do have a BDR team sending outreach sequences to open leads, make sure that what they're sending doesn't overlap with your nurture content. If it does, agree a division of ownership.
So with that increase in adoption of sales outreach tools, do you think there is too much overlapping content, or is there a worry of conflicting messaging? Do you think these sales sequences are a bad development generally?
It depends on how they're used. Sales outreach sequences are a great strategy for re-engaging dormant leads at the bottom of the funnel. But you need to be careful to not overlap them with your marketing programs. You don't want to be having BDRs or sales reps doing marketing, so sending messages that could be executed more efficiently by marketing. We've seen customers where this is the case. Okay. So, awareness stage is your business as usual campaign calendar. It's always on because it's just the content you're already producing and promoting across your existing channels. Much of that content will already be targeted at a specific need or a specific audience. So if you have an existing content engine, there's nothing new that you need to do here. The traditional email nurture type campaign happens further down the funnel. So think about timing carefully. Short nurtures are generally more successful because you see a drop off in results for the later emails in any campaign. Ultimately, though, the timing and the length of nurtures depends on your sales cycle and how long it takes buyers to move through interest stage or the consideration stage of the funnel. Longer sales cycles need longer nurtures with more content. Keep the content of each email nurture focused on a specific topic. It is better to have multiple short streams than one long stream, as you'll get higher engagement. As I said, there's often a drop-off on long nurtures. You can and should be moving contacts between streams if they show interest in more than one topic. We all know buyer journeys aren't linear. But don't just move contacts to a nurture stream for the sake of it. Wait until they've actually shown interest with the topic, because you won't be able to send them the same content later if they're not ready to engage with it now, but are at a later time. On this slide, we've also added the welcome nurture. This sits somewhat outside the rest of the nurture framework and acts as an introduction to new contacts in the database. It's also one of the many ways to discover the solution or product interest of new contacts to see whether they're ready to be added to an interest nurture stream. After all, nurture is ultimately a personalization play. It needs to be relevant. So at every stage, identify the right message and content for each audience and each campaign theme. Look at assets and asset types that have already been successful with similar audiences in the past, then use those. Nurture is a great opportunity to reuse evergreen content. You don't need to be creating massive amounts of new content just for every new nurture campaign. And don't limit yourself just to email. Can and should be nurturing contacts over web and social channels as well. Think about the best ways to drive intent, and progress leads to the next point in the journey. Nurture should be at sending the right content to the right audience at the right time. Don't try to bridge the entire funnel with a single nurture campaign, because the content won't be timely. Split up your nurtures into stages, then work out the transition points between streams. And that means specific activity, specific engagements. Is there a consistent pattern of engagement with content intended for a specific buying stage? If there is, you add them to that stage. Same applies if you have multiple campaign themes. Track every contact level of interest across every topic. At a basic level, this can be done through a separate lead scoring model for each topic. Even if it's a very simple model, it's just counting the number of times contacts engage with content about each topic. That's still useful. You can then mix in first-party intent data from tools such as 6 Sense or third-party intent data from Bombora for a more rounded view of where contacts are in the funnel and the most appropriate content for them. Ultimately, though, when selecting the right nurture stream for contacts, the most important interest is the last topic someone engaged with. Contacts are routinely researching multiple topics at the same time. And this is particularly true if you're running everything at account level for ABM. As such, the first time someone engages with middle of funnel content, you move them to the most relevant nurture stream for that content. If someone then engages with another topic, you wait until the end of that stream before moving to the next stream for that second topic. Do consider any explicit preferences collected through preference centers and respect those. These are more often exclusions from specific streams rather than a reason to add contacts to a stream. So block someone from it being added to a stream for a preference they've opted out of is the main use for preference centers. If someone has said they don't want to hear about a specific topic, respect that. If their job title isn't relevant to that topic, respect that too. For ABM, you may also consider which contacts in the buying group are added to which specific nurture streams. You can move contacts midstream, but only if you see a big spike in interest around a specific topic. That's why you score the number of engagements for each topic. Because if someone interacts with 5 pieces of content about a different topic, you move them to that stream. But if they engage once with that other topic, you don't. You keep them in their existing stream. Personalization and personalized campaign flows are more than just about selecting the right triggers for adding contacts to nurture. Once added to nurture, you still need to adapt the campaign to fit the recipient. And that doesn't just mean content. Although dynamic content for a personalized nurture is incredibly important. It also means a personalized campaign flow. Even small things like enabling send time optimization, if your sending platform has that option, is a great way of doing it. Send time optimization uses AI so that a contact's previous email click history is used to select the best time to send new emails to that contact. It also means accelerating the email cadence if someone engages with one email, so the next email is sent much more quickly. We typically schedule weekly sends for engaged contacts in a nurture, and every 2 weeks for unengaged contacts. You don't ever want to leave contacts waiting for the next asset, so make sure to immediately present the next asset as soon as someone has completed the current one. That can be done through the related content module on your website, or by sending an autoresponder email if someone has clicked on the existing email. Having immediate follow-up also allows you to tease consideration stage or a contact us form to an engaged audience. It's the quickest way to generate a high quality lead from a nurture. And sales teams always complain about the low quality of leads generated from nurture. If your nurture leads aren't progressing through to opportunity, look at which touches you're scoring. A lead generated from nurture needs to, 1, have a regular pattern of engagement over time, and 2, has to have engaged with consideration stage content. In practice, that means defining the MQL triggers around the number of clicks and specific assets. Not enough attention is given to MQL triggers when designing nurtures. It's often decided at the last minute. Instead, same as the entry triggers, the MQL trigger needs to be decided upfront based on the value of the content and the number of times a particular contact has engaged.
So what is the best way to define the most appropriate MQL trigger? Is there any advice you can give on that?
It's looking at content scoring is the first thing. So I said score content, because ideally you should be using content value in your lead scoring models. And the second one is look for a consistent pattern of activity. The feedback we always get from telequalification teams is that leads with the greatest conversion rate are those which have shown a consistent pattern of activity over time, rather than just someone who's coming in and engaged once. So, welcome nurtures. I said welcome nurtures are the starting point for your nurture journey. They're where new contacts are added as soon as they opt in from any non-MQL generating campaign. MQLs bypass the welcome nurture and go directly to whoever follows them up. Everything else gets sent a general introduction email, email 1 on this slide. This first email is just a brand awareness email to position your brand to new prospects. Can't always assume people know who you are. And if they do, they may not necessarily know everything that you do, which is why we have the second email. The follow-up multi-offer email is more important than the first email because it's a selector email. It's intended to showcase all the different content streams you produce and allow recipients to self-select their interests from the different themes or topics presented on the email. An easy way of doing that is to offer one asset from each content stream. Anyone who clicks on one of those assets gets added to the most relevant nurture stream for that asset. If they click on multiple assets, they get added to the first stream and queued for the subsequent ones. Anyone who doesn't respond to the welcome nurture then gets added to the awareness stream to receive the monthly newsletter or whatever ongoing regular communications you send. And if 2 emails isn't sufficient, you can have longer welcome nurtures. Typically, we do this by adding 2 to 4 solution emails, which provide a more detailed insight around each of the solution areas to contacts who may not be familiar with that particular product or service area. These go sent after the multi-offer email and are focused on a single topic. An easy way of doing this is to simply send the first email in each nurture stream. So email 3 is the first email in your first nurture stream. Email 4 is the first email in your second nurture stream. And if you're short of content, you can even use the same assets as the multi-offer email. This is one area where it's fine to resend the same offer. Generally, shorter and simpler nurture emails perform better than longer or more complicated emails. That's why I said keep those welcome emails, except the multi-offer, quite streamlined. Focus the email around the primary call to action, which means stripping the layout back so that includes a banner at the top with or without an image to draw the eye, a paragraph 2 of intro copy to explain why the email is relevant to the recipient, 3 bullet points to then highlight the benefits of the offer, and then the button itself. And the objective of a nurture email is always to make people click that button. You don't want to distract from that. You can include secondary call to actions, as on this example on the right, but make that secondary call to action a text link beneath the button. You need to make sure the main call to action is clear to the casual observer, because people don't read emails. You encounter that Outlook email every day. So marketing emails are the same. People scan the emails. Emails are the teaser for your primary offer. They are never the nurture content itself. I've talked a lot about how nurtures fit into the funnel. You also need to consider how they fit into the overall customer experience. Storytelling is an incredibly important part of marketing, and you need to make sure that your messaging is consistent across campaigns. That's why personalization within nurtures is so important, because that's how you maintain consistency of messaging across touchpoints. Take this example user journey. Here we've got a lead which clicked through from a PPC ad about data quality. They've viewed some data related content on our website and registered to download one of our white papers. Because we are able to capture their original lead source, we added them to our data services content stream. They received 2 emails. I just showed you them on the previous slide. And they engaged the second one, a data sheet about our marketing ops services. They read that, clicked through the contact us page, and booked a meeting with the sales rep. It's a high quality lead from Nurture. Here is a second example journey. This one doesn't necessarily use email. It shows you can build the same experience on the website using a related content module, such as, and this can be done, say, using your CMS. It can be done using a tool such as ParFactory or Follows, because they've built their platforms around this same kind of nurture board concept. In this example, though, we're using LinkedIn ads for nurture, which can be combined with email or used to replace specific email touchpoints in the nurture. Here we've got someone who registered for this webinar from LinkedIn, but he didn't actually attend it. So we've added them to nurture. However, as they've engaged their content on LinkedIn, we know that LinkedIn is probably the best way to reach them. So we nurture them using retargeting on the LinkedIn platform with matched audiences. That allows us to rotate the ads they engage with until they see our e-guide ad, which they respond to, click through to, and then ultimately from that, fill in the contact us form on our website. In both these scenarios, we're using middle or bottom of funnel nurtures to keep people engaged until they're ready to speak to sales. That's the most common form of nurture. But lead generation doesn't have to be the lead goal of every nurture campaign. If you're designing a welcome nurture for top of funnel, then lead generation probably isn't an effective form of success because leads won't be ready to speak to sales. There you'll be more interested in brand metrics or engagement metrics. And even further down the funnel, you may decide that interest collection or marketing influence is a more relevant measure than the number of leads generated. It depends upon your attribution model. As with any campaign, be clear up front with the objective of any nurture, both from a customer experience perspective and an internal pipeline perspective. Otherwise, there's simply no way of knowing whether your campaign is effective or not.
Thanks, Alan. That was very insightful. So if we want to get started on this process of nurture planning, I guess you propose to start by defining what your objectives are and how you will be measuring success before you even consider content and the overall story in general. And when we look at the mechanics of it, make sure you define the entry triggers and the MQL triggers very early in the process and not when everything else is already in place. Did I say that right?
Yes, that's right. Nurture is not just another campaign. It's also an automation with the overall customer journey. So when defining a nurture, the key thing is to think about how it fits into the overall funnel and the overall customer experience.
Okay, thanks, Alan, for sharing this with us today. For all of you out there listening, thank you for your time. We hope this was useful. Drop us a line if you have any feedback or questions. And this was the 6th installment of MOPS Unlocked. We will be sending you the recording so you can share them with your friends and colleagues, and look out for the invite on the next episode in our series. Thanks again for joining and have a great day.